Hi, Bowl Bakers. Normally when you see me in a video, I'm all ready for camera, I'm making something beautiful and my kitchen is beautifully clean, but not today. We've been making tons of recipes, doing bulk shoots, making lots of things for the Academy, and my kitchen and my pantry is upside down. Rather than get in there really fast and not let anybody see it and clean it up, I thought, why not show you what really goes on in my pantry when nobody's looking. Before I open these doors, I just want to say, don't judge me too harshly. Okay, so here's my pantry. So this is my stuff for dinner. This is grains and pasta and stuff and things down there for George. But this is my baking drawer. It has taken quite a beating. It's messy, it's floury, there's random stuff. I don't even know why there's a bag floating around in there. So I'm gonna go through everything and we're gonna tidy it up a little bit. And I'm gonna show you how you can better organize your pantry so it doesn't look like my pantry. Okay, so let's start over here. I use a lot of honey for baking. I do enjoy partaking in a margarita every now and again, so I'm well stocked with agave. But one thing that should be in there is a tub to catch all the sticky stuff. It should be in there. Those ingredients are so sticky and they get everywhere, so just put them in their own little space so they stay tidy. Let me see, what's this? Milk malted powder. I haven't used this in years. May 2017. Okay, that's the end of that. Oh, my cocoa powder. I do enjoy splurging on good cocoa powder. It makes all the difference. I love this brand, Guitars. So this is in my baking drawer. I have some tapioca pudding, which I haven't actually used yet. I should use that. I wonder what date is. Yeah, 24 October 2001. Okie dokie. We're learning.
No, show me that.
Okay.
2021.
What did I say?
You said 2001.
Oh, no, 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot about myself. I don't like waste, but I also don't like to throw stuff out. Here I have, oh, dulce de leche. So you know that when I make banoffee pies, boiled cans of condensed milk, I always boil a few at a time. So just make sure that you label them because the label comes off in the water. Dulce de leche, keep that in there for whenever you would need it next. Here I have a random bowl of white and brown sugar mixed together. I'm guessing that is because I was low on brown sugar and tried to thin it out with white sugar. So I'm going to mix that into another brown sugar. Saving ingredients. Peanut butter, this lives up here because this is not my baking peanut butter. I recommend when baking, where is my baking peanut butter? When baking with peanut butter, it's always best to use the kind of generic, oily kind of peanut butter. This one is a nice homemade one. This is for George and for Kevin and I. Jif, Sif, whatever it's called, use those ones. Skippy. Here is, this is very bold. Now, for all of those out there who are watching this, don't do this. A little jar that is not labeled with some random white stuff in it that I actually have to taste to see what it is. I'm guessing it's baking powder. Yeah, it's baking powder. Okay, I'm not going to use that because I don't know how long it's been there, but make sure that you label your jars. That's really important. My vanilla paste, I love vanilla paste. It's much cheaper than vanilla pods. You can get this brand here, it's called Native Vanilla. I get them on Amazon, I really like them. They also sell cheap vanilla beans. Always have that handy, I just really like that. Okay, I'm gonna show you something here. First off, I want to start out by saying, you know how I love to make everything homemade from scratch. There's a few things though, when you get into developing food, styling food, making things look beautiful for camera, there's certain things you have to do. You have to use box frosting because I'll tell you why. It's really thick. It is really good when it gets really hot in the kitchen, and in LA it gets like very hot during the summertime. And if you're frosting a cake and it's really hot and it's soft and it's melty, this stuff is really, really great. And let me just tell you that I'm not the only person that used this. Pretty much every food stylist used fake frosting because it's just so pliable, it works so well, and it doesn't melt under hot conditions. So that's why I always keep a little bit here. Here's an Oreo, just like randomly out of a packet. So you shouldn't do that, keep them in the packet. Oh, it's stale. Okay, yeah, we're gonna pack those. So here's what I like to do. I'm going to vacuum seal these because I don't use Oreos very often, but I like to keep them nice and fresh. So I'm going to vacuum seal these so they'll last much longer. Okay, making progress. Oh, look at this. I did label something. Baking powder, labeled. I know exactly what it is. Perfect. What we got over here? Machino cherries. These remind me of the 70s, and actually I wasn't born in the 70s, they remind me of the 80s, because I was born in the 80s, of Knickerbocker Glories, of Tiffin slices, of ice cream sundaes, banana splits. They're kind of a necessary evil. I love them for food photography, and they just look so bright and so beautiful. I have them in a lot of my photos, and I always have them around because you never know when you might need one for a photo. So that is that. This is some random sticky stuff. I've literally no idea what that is. Okay, no. Ooh. Now let me see, I'm gonna give a little bit of a wipe down here. Honey, maple syrup, sorry, that goes in there. Here I have my baking beans. These are for when I'm blind baking pie crusts. I don't use baking beans because, or beads, because they're very expensive and you don't get a whole lot in a pack. So buy a cheap bag of rice, cheap bag of beans, lentils, whatever it is. Use these just for baking. That's why they live on my baking drawer, just for baking. You don't cook these after you bake with them, but they work really well and they're really inexpensive. We have salt there. We have half an Oreo. You know what? I'm going to ask Kevin about this because I don't think that was me. And we have another jar that's not labeled. Oh, there we go. Cinnamon. A little trick working in professional kitchens. There are a few things that are coveted that when you get in early, you grab them and you make sure you have enough, at least for that day. Blue tape. This is painter's tape. The reason that we use this is because in the kitchen, in professional kitchens, you label everything with painter's tape. It comes off really easy. It sticks on stuff really easily. You can write on it. And the thing about it is it's blue. So this is cinnamon. Think about it. There's a method to our madness. There's no blue food. So if this comes off, if it ends up getting mixed into something, you're going to see it straight away. It stands out. That's why you use blue painter's tape to label stuff. So that's just a little trick for you. And it's really inexpensive. Get it at the hardware store. Espresso powder. Espresso powder is really, really important. With this, again, with the no, I don't know what that is. Oh, evaporated milk, very important. When I go to the supermarket and I'm buying stuff, I always grab condensed milk and evaporated milk, but I never do a stock take of what I already have. So I end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cans of evaporated milk. So if there's a run on evaporated milk, I'm selling it for $10 a jar. Baking soda, labeled, very good, Gemma. Learning my lesson, condensed milk, look at that. They're not going to catch me out when there's a shortage on condensed milk. Oh, look at that, Oreos. So those should be vacuum sealed. The centers are taken out. I would say we were making cheesecakes. We took out the centers and they need to be vacuum sealed. So I'm going to vacuum seal those in a few minutes. Here I have a little bit of brown sugar. This brown sugar is a little bit different because I think it's like a demerara sugar. So it's a sugar that we would get in England and in Ireland. It's a different course. It's not what I use for baking. I'm not sure why that's in there, but I don't use that for baking. So we'll put that over to the side. Here I have some crushed up graham crackers for bases. Here I have some graham crackers. These need to be vacuum sealed. When you vacuum seal stuff, it lasts forever. It lasts for months and months and months. And with the amount of food production that we do and just how I love to be prepared with our meals for the family and all those sorts of things, I love to vacuum seal. Oh, look at this. A perfect example. Vacuum sealed matcha. Oh no, wait, this is green. This is matcha powder. We use this in a drink and I think we used it in a recipe. I use it very rarely, but it keeps perfectly in this vacuum sealed bag. This is not an ad for vacuum sealers. This is semolina flour, and I think I saw semolina over here. For some reason, I have 3 bags of semolina flour. I need one of those pantries where when you're in the supermarket, you can press a button and find out what's in there so you don't buy extra. I'm gonna put this in here. I like semolina flour to make pasta, and I like it when I'm making homemade pizzas. I obviously like it a lot because I have 3 bags, but however, I'll give a little bit more of a dusty dust. Here I have some cinnamon sugar. we always need cinnamon sugar. It could be for cinnamon rolls, it could be for tossing a cookie in for Christmas, like so many different things. And I end up making lots of batches. So here's a nice big bag of cinnamon sugar. There is some more condensed milk. You live over here. There's a cookie in there. I'll have that later. Nutella, of course. Nice big tub of Nutella. Those cookies are definitely stale. So say goodbye to those. I have some cupcake wrappers in here, which don't actually live in here. They have their own home. Maybe I'll show you that drawer another day, but they don't live in there. This is just food. Oh, look at that. Vacuum sealed. These are ginger nut. Ginger nut. What do you call them in America? Ginger snaps? Ginger nuts? These are what I use at Christmas time. And I love to make cheesecake base around the holidays or just in general with ginger snap cookies. Super good, molassesy, a little bit spicy, loads of flavor. Okay, look, you can tell that we're making progress here and it's getting nice and tidy as we go. Wheat flour. Now, this is very bold. Wheat flour lives in the fridge. It lives in the fridge because it has kind of like a higher, with the wheat germ and the endosperm, it has more fat in this flour, unlike regular white flour. So it can go rancid pretty quickly. So what this does is we put this in the fridge. So that lives in the fridge and will clean my fridge another day. You can also keep it in the freezer and it will last forever. I keep it always, generally, always in the fridge or in the freezer. I have to say, this is coming together pretty well, isn't it? Is that more semolina flour? You've got to be kidding me. You know, the little trade secret, when you do a lot of food styling and photos, food for photography and for our website and stuff like that, sometimes you'll have to use box cake mix. But it's because if we are doing a day, recently we shot around 15 different types of frostings and we weren't going to make a whole pile of cakes to go with all the frostings. So we made base box cake and then we were just able to put our frostings on different flavors of box cake. It's just so much faster for us to make these things. Of course, being a European, I have to have a bag of self-raising flour in my cupboard. The difference between using the US self-raising flour and the European self-raising flour is that in America, they add salt into it. So be very, very, very careful when you are baking with self-raising flour and adding extra salt into the recipe, be it a cake or scones or something like that, because it's already quite salty. So that's just a little bit of knowledge for you. There's more random cookies. I'll put those, no, I'll eat those. And there we have, look at, it's all kind of starting to take shape. Look, see now, more cinnamon sugar. This is what happens. You get really busy. We do so many different things. We're moving 100 miles an hour and we end up at the end of the day with 10 pots of cinnamon sugar. So we put this in here. We save space. There's no waste. And here I have a 5-pound tub of baking powder. Now let me tell you who needs a 5-pound tub of baking powder. Nobody. Nobody needs this. I've had it for 4 years. Don't ever buy baking powder in such large quantities. It is not a smart move. But anyway, it's still active. It's still there. It's grand. One last thing that I forgot to show you is black cocoa powder. This is like doubly Dutched. It is a really mild flavor. It's rich. It's really good. If you ever have the opportunity to bake with black cocoa, I strongly recommend it. My friend Brian Hart Hoffman turned me on to it. So I just want to show you one last thing. Down here, I have big bins for food because we bake in such large amounts that we need a large amount of flour and sugar. So I have these little wheelie bins. When I got the cabinet maker to make the pantry, I got him to make me an area for these bins. So I have bins full of sugar and flour. So on busy baking days, we just pull them out and wheel them around the kitchen. Okay, so it's looking a little bit better. I'm going to vacuum seal those cookies and then I can put them in there and I think we're done. So a few years ago, I asked Santa for a vacuum sealer for Christmas. So this is probably the best Christmas present I've ever gotten and maybe also the most saddest, lamest sentence I've ever said. But you know what? I don't care. I love it. And it makes me happy. So you can vacuum seal anything. One time on TikTok, I actually did a video around the holidays of me vacuum sealing cookies because I just love to vacuum seal so much. There's something kind of, I think, satisfying about it. Look at all my cookies. Make a bit of a shorter bag. It's this easy. So look at that. I vacuum sealed them really tight because these are going to be for a cookie base, for cheesecake, something like that. So it doesn't matter if they break. If I've learned anything today, it's to make sure that we label everything, because that's what grown-ups do. And I am a grown-up. Okie dokie. Lovely, we're all organized. So just in the amount of nap time.
I'm two.
George is 2, in case you didn't know that. So George is up from his nap, and it was just the right amount of time for me to organize at least one shelf of the pantry, which I am super proud of. Georgie, look. Isn't that nice?
I don't eat that.
No, you can't eat that. There you go, a little behind the scenes look into my pantry and what goes on here in our house. If you'd like to see more videos like this, let us know in the comments below. We have always a lot going on and we have a lot to share. And who doesn't want to see more of little baby George? So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Georgie kitty cat.
Mommy,
Yeah.
you're going to the hospital.
I didn't go to the hospital, George.
You're going to go on the other day in the plane.
I went to the plane. Where did I go on the plane?
To Ireland.
I did. And who did I see in Ireland?
Cows.
I did see cows in Ireland, that's true.